Hey crafters, welcome to the DM's Craft. I'm DM Scotty, good to have you with me. Today I am going to show you how to do a gelatinous cube. And I really don't want to take all the credit for this because a poster on my forum named The Brave initially had this idea, and I really want to give a shout out to you because this was a cool idea. In his idea, he actually used like a saran wrap bag and then use some tape on it. I'm doing mine a little differently, but essentially it's his same idea. So I really want to thank you for that post. That was fantastic, and I think this is a really cool idea. So let's go to the table and I'll show you how to craft that gelatinous cube. So here's a piece of scrap paper, and I want to kind of show you what the idea for the cube. So what you want to do is make it like a square grid. So you'll have, okay, so this will be the top, and this will be the side, and we're going to cut these pieces off, okay? And then we'll bend these in, okay? And I'll show you how to do that at the table. But I wanted to show you the piece of plastic I took for the that I'm going to use, and it's hard to see. You might be able to see that scoring I did on it. I did it with an X-Acto knife, and I just used my T-square to measure that out, and then score it with the X-Acto knife. So now what I'm going to do is cut it out. Well, I want to talk about the plastic itself for a sec. This plastic is a harder kind of plastic, flexible plastic. It might be something used for an overhead or some of those old sheet protectors, the harder plastic sheet protectors. So this is what I'm using for this. So let's cut that out, and then we'll move to the next step. So I've cut it out, and then I end up with a shape like this. Okay, it's like a plus sign. Okay, but I've scored the sheet, so not only did it guide me to cut this out, I can bend it along that score line much easier than if I tried to just do it on my own. So see, now it's okay. So now I've got it folded over, and it'll form into a box like this, basically, is what we're going for. So let's do some detail work on this, and then we'll move to the next step. Now here I'm ready to apply some hot glue. I want to get some texture. Now one thing I did notice when I did it the first time was I made the box first and then applied the texture, which was a little more difficult. So I think I'm going to try to apply most of the texture first and then enclose the box. So you might get some warpage with this. I did on my first one, but it wasn't bad. It kind of makes it look like not just a perfect cube, which is kind of nice. You know, it's close to being a cube, but not a perfect cube. So we'll start applying the hot glue to this. So I'm just going to kind of do some, and I don't want to go right to the edge yet, because then that'll make it difficult to fold over. So I just add some more. So this will give it some kind of a gelatinous look. All right, let's see if you can see that. All right, that's really cool. So what we'll do is we'll do the rest of these sides, and then we'll assemble this. Now your instinct is going to be, oh, I want to get this done, but don't rush it. Let this glue dry out. Not dry out, but get cool, so you can touch it without pulling the glue off. And this is plenty cool, so I've let it sit for a few minutes. So now it's ready to go. So you can see the texture I got on there came out really nicely. So now the next point is to assemble this. So I'm going to kind of bend these sides over. And I'm trying to make a rough cube. And these are just 2 by 2 inch sides. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is glue the side together. So I'll just use my hot glue. Get that edge. And remember, you don't have to be perfect with this. This is just, and then just hold it until it bonds. And now we'll work our way around and do all the edges like this, and I'll come back and show you. Alright, there we go. Our cube is assembled, looking really nice, but I want to add a little more detail first, and strength. So what I'm going to do is use my smaller glue gun, pull that back, and then it's going to add some glue along those inside edges where it connects, or corners. That'll give some reinforcement there. Okay, so be careful. You can, with the hot glue gun, you can undo some of the seams you've done. So be very careful with that when you're doing it. Like I didn't jam the nozzle in and really, you know, push it hard or anything. I just kind of zip up there so you don't undo those seams. So let's let that harden up for a sec, and then we'll start doing the final detail on this this puppy. Alright, this is looking great, but the square is a little too perfect. So let's grab our glue gun and we'll start kind of messing with those edges. So what I'll do is I'll just drag the glue gun over the edge, and then I'll kind of blend it into the rest. And this will give it a not so perfectly square shape. So it'll look more gelatinous and less plasticky. Okay, so I'm going to run over all the edges like that, and then we'll be done, and I'll show you what it looks like on the tile. So suppose our players are going along in the dungeon and they turn the corner and they see this kind of room, you could have something to lure the players in or something like that, or you know, you could just they may not see it immediately, or the gelatinous cube could just, you know, lunge out or come out and start rolling towards the players, and they're like, oh crap, and they got to run back, you know, and it's coming slow after them. So it goes down the hall. So this basically fits in this two across hall, and it just, you know, follows them down the hall, and they're trying to get rid of it, and they got to decide which way to go really quick, or you know, it's gonna catch up to them. So you can have that kind of stuff, or you could have like you know, when they come up here and they maybe see treasure or something but don't see this, and then they go in the room and they're like attacked, and you could actually put them inside the gelatinous cube, which is pretty freaking awesome, and you can still see them inside of it. So that's why we didn't, you know, of course, why we didn't do the bottom, because you can put the people in there, and that's what I really like about this technique, is that you can put guys inside. So here, I'll give you another little closer look at the cube, and you can see the light just pouring through that. It's virtually clear, you know, with that hot glue. And there we go. That's an easy and cheap gelatinous cube that you can actually put figures in. So I'll see you next time on The Craft. Hey crafters, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the DM's Craft. Make sure to subscribe, and I have tons of other videos, as you can see. I am the originator of the 2.5D method of crafting tiles. I also do dirt cheap terrain for the table. If all this intrigues you, make sure you check out all the videos below. Also, join my forum. We have lots of great crafters on there who give advice. I have a link above and below. And last but not least, remember, go forth and craft!